Welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about a novel love story by Ashley Poston. I got it off of NetGalley.
Me too, I think.
Okay. So this book is about Eileen, or Elsie, which is what she goes by. Figure that one out. I haven't been able to. But basically, she's kind of stuck in a rut in her life. But every year she goes with her spicy romance book club friends and meets in this cabin.
An abandoned cabin in the woods.
An abandoned cabin in the woods. No, they like go hang out in the cabin over in kind of the New York area. There's a name for it that she says, and I just can't remember. But they hang out in a cabin for a week, like on vacation, read books, chat, have wine, do all the fun stuff. Well, this year nobody can come. Even her best friend Prue, who is been with her through thick and thin. Her friend Prue is actually going with her boyfriend, potentially fiance, to Iceland. We'll see if this awesome vacation for Prue turns into something more. Elsie decides she's going to stick with this vacation, even if it's her there at a cabin by herself alone. She hates driving. Turns out there's a good reason for that, because as she's driving, she gets lost. She gets lost in this no-name town and a no-name map. Has no idea where she is. She almost hits this guy who's standing in the rain. Turns out, as she spends more time in the town, the guy she almost hits, super cute, but kind of a jerk.
She keeps calling him Darcy-esque.
Darcy-esque. Anyway, he's the only kind of odd thing in this town, because as it turns out, this town is basically a replica of her favorite book series, Ellerton. I could be mispronouncing.
But it wasn't a replica. It was like the book come to life at the end of the.
We're not going to get bogged down in the details because we don't want to give anything away.
But I mean, that's in the description, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, it's this town come to life. And basically she doesn't want to leave because she absolutely loves this book series, loves this town. And the author who was writing this book series actually died before she could finish the series. And so Elsie's really just kind of looking to get as much as she can from this town and from these characters. And so her car dies, so she's stuck there, of course, and the internet and phones don't work, and so she's trapped there for a little bit longer than she expected. And so she gets to explore the town and kind of build relationships with her favorite characters, and then also this very prickly man named Anders, or Ander. And potentially sparks are flying because she's in a romantical town. So of course romance shall touch her. And I think I kind of covered everything the basics of what you need to know about this book. So where are you at?
So I kind of had a mixed reaction to this book. So I love the premise. Like, the premise is like this is a book lover's premise, right? Part of my issue, I don't think I'd want to read this book series. Like, all of the characters they talk about, I'm kind of like, okay. Like, like Ruby and all these people, I'm like, and maybe that's the point. Like, maybe they're supposed to be such caricatures. And like, I enjoyed it. Like, I kept reading and I read it like in 2 days. Like, I wanted to know how it ends. And then there was just like near the end, it kind of started to lose me.
See, this book was boring to me. It felt like a Hallmark movie turned book. And the characters she talks about and the characters she's in love with, like, those are ones that you will find in your stereotypical old school romance books. And like, so I could totally see your geriatrics or other readers really kind of getting into this, because for what it felt like to me was like a cozy romance, right? There are those cozy mysteries, like, but this is the cozy romance. Like, this is, you don't find spice really here. Like, it's just cozy. Like, if you're just looking for something to like curl up with and not really have like anything too intense happen, like, this book does that. And I just don't think I'm the reader for it, honestly.
Well, like, I read a lot of YA, so I'm used to like the fade to black. But and my thing is, like, I really usually like Ashley Poston's character, like, books, but it's, again, to me, it was like the characters weren't quite where I needed them to be. And I'm sorry, but like the big mystery of Anders, I figured out on page like 45.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, but that shouldn't have impacted the story, really. Like, I just didn't care about the love story, right? Like, because I wasn't really invested in the characters. I don't know. I feel like the storyline about the possum was probably the most interesting part of this book for me.
See, and I was like, every time they went to that, I'm like, come on. So, and I kept waiting for something like there were 2 or 3 times I was like, oh, this is gonna, I honestly kept waiting for Pleasantville, like where like the characters wake up and like start to like see the modern world. Like there's one character who like splits from her boyfriend briefly, and like they keep talking about like her best friend, and I'm like, oh, so she's like in love with her best friend. No. So there was like 4 or 5 times through that, and maybe that's my problem. Maybe it's because I kept waiting for Pleasantville and Pleasantville never happened.
Like I said, I can see readers for this book. I am not that reader. Like, I could definitely see people really being invested in this book and really liking it. it when you just got off the high of reading an Allie Hazelwood and I come into this book, like, it's not.
Like
It's
it wasn't bad. I just didn't.
I just really didn't enjoy it, and I think the more I read it, the more I was like, I'm just done with this book. Like, I'm bored.
See, and I never got there.
Yeah.
I just like. I guess I just never completely got like sucked in. Like I enjoyed it. I liked aspects of it. I would probably read it again. No, I would. I will.
Like,
Well, I would
this
keep
wouldn't turn me off of it wouldn't turn me off of this author. Like, I'd
no.
still read more by this author. It just, like, this book didn't work for me. But like I said, I could see its merits.
But I will also say I love her YA books. This is the first adult book I've read by her because I loved Geekerella.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else to say. Like I said, like to me, like the characters just like felt this the book characters felt very caricature, and I really
I
like
think they
you.
were supposed to, but
Yeah, and you do get a lot of back information about Elsie, but I and like some of the stuff that happened to her was like not great. But I don't know if I got invested in her story. And honestly, like the setting for like this like quirky little town could have been a little bit more developed. You know what's funny, and I think like I thought of this when I was reading this book. I read an article years ago that apparently Nora Roberts has a town, like that she's basically bought this whole town. And her one book series takes place in the town. So like the bookstore that she owns is the same name of the bookstore in the books. And like the inn she owns is the same name as like the Boonesboro Inn. Because part of me, like, I'm like, I kind of want to go there because I liked those books. So we should just rate this.
okay, so our rating scale starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We go down to 2 unicorns, and we don't like it. It doesn't get a horn and is therefore a horse. Where are you?
I'm at a 3. And I know like it was fine. And like I was sucked in. Like I did really like enjoy it. And I was reading it. And like I said, I read it in like less than 2 days. But then there was just something at the end that it just there was, I don't know, like the drama was dragged out longer than it needed to be or something.
It did drag out longer. Like, I was like, why is this book not done? Anyway, I'm giving it a 2. Like, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, there was nothing really there for me. It and I'm not saying though that I wouldn't recommend it because, like I said, I'm just not the reader.
Yeah, no, I think people are gonna will check it out, but
Yeah.
just didn't 100 it wasn't like 100% for me. So that is where we are on a novel love story.
Yep.
And we'll see you around.
Bye.
Bye.